Hey, fellow students and professor and anyone else who's watching this. I'm Pam Williams, Pamela Lagergren Williams, and I chose to do my presentation on my online classroom challenges presentation on discussing developing relationships with our online students. When I chose this topic and began to do the research for it, I was maybe a little surprised, a little bit amazed to learn how much of it had to just do with being a good teacher and following those guidelines, because you're making your students happy with you when you do what you should do. Most of it had to do with, in what I was reading about, just not aggravating your students by hiding your syllabus, not responding to emails. We all know how, when we're students, that's really distressing. Taking days and weeks, as I've had professors do, to grade papers, and then when they finally grade the papers, there's maybe no response other than the grade. If it's 100, well, okay, you're saying this was a really good paper. I'm okay with that. But if it's a poor grade and there's no response, then that's not good. So I found the guidelines above that I just talked about in a number of readings. Online students are too busy. Sometimes they're too far away to want to be best buddies with their professors. But a few ideas can enhance a professor's relationship with students. Number one, provide your contact information. Don't hide from your students in a place that it's impossible to miss. We had to get rid of a system at a place that I worked because they had all of their contact information hidden from the students. So when students had problems and they wouldn't respond, it was the lab work that the students were doing. That was terrible. We had to get another company who was great. They were wonderful. Use announcements to clear up any confusion. If you have several students who are writing you the same questions, then probably more than those students are having issues. So save yourself trouble, save them trouble by just sending out an announcement to clear up any confusion. Make your presence known in the discussion forum. It doesn't mean you have to respond to everything that's there. I have a class right now that has 20 students, and so that would be a little bit too much. But I can respond to a number of them, and I can respond to the others the following week. Make your course expectations clear and easy to find in the course modules. I took a course recently where the issues were the things that I needed to be doing were all over the modules. Not this class. Professor has been great. But it was terrible. It was really challenging. And I can see why this could frustrate students. And students appreciate rubrics. They love rubrics. And rubrics save you a lot of headache. You and I both know what it is to look at a paper and it's an A paper, a B paper, a C paper, a worse paper. But apparently they wouldn't have turned that in if they knew that, if it was not a good paper. They thought they did well. And a rubric helps you cover tough territories without having to really get into it in a personal way with students. And that way your personal messages to your students can be more personal and encouraging, even if you've docked them some points. They really do help. I was hard when coming around to that, but I have created a lot of rubrics. Use the students' first names every chance you get. That's a lot easier online than face-to-face anyway, when it takes a little while to remember all their names, or at least it does to me. You always have their first names in front of you to type out, and they love it. Make a video announcement to introduce the week's work, and make short video teachings when feasible so students can see you and hear you. I like in one of the materials we were reading, she was talking about just doing them occasionally, but adding them up, and then you have them saved. But she said, don't refer to, what we talked about last week, because it may not be there the next time around. And these certainly, if you're working for Baypath, these courses change, so you wouldn't be able to do that and refer to last week's if it's changed. Reach out when necessary to students with short, respectful emails. If you need to go to a phone call or a Zoom, they probably need it, and that's cool. That's good. I'm on number 10.10. Use your LMS version of early alerts to get advisors on board to help you. They have a different relationship with their students than you do, but when you reach out to the advisors, it shows that you care. And that means a lot to students, and their advisors may be able to reach them. You've probably already contacted them, so they have somebody else contacting them and letting them know this is serious, if it's the grades are dropping and that sort of thing. Professor Wyckoff's PowerPoint on the faculty role in building relationships online will always stand you in good stead with at least most normal students. And it can't hurt there either. Be compassionate. Really listen. Be available. Act with flexibility to the extent that you're able to, and be respectful. If you use the techniques that I mentioned, you will be building relationships with your very busy students. A lot of these students would be taking online classes if they had a lot of time. But they do need to take the time to do their classes, and that does need to become important to them. Not just a very side issue in their lives, but most of the time it is important to them. And they're paying a lot of money to take your classes. You want to help them to be successful in that. It's their time, their money, their time they're taking away from their families. You want them to be successful the first time around without having to take your course again and again. You're not trying to be their best friend, but you're showing them that you are friendly and you are approachable. And I hope you found this helpful for you and helpful for your students. Thank you very much.